Hello, this is Carrie again, and I have another video for you today. Today's video, I will be talking about the Crayola Colored Pencils, which have been highly requested, and many people have requested for me to do a review of that. So I will be doing that today. There is a subscribe link over there. There is a tip jar over there, and various links will show up as I talk about it. When I talk about a link, they will show up there. All right, so let's get started. Crayola was founded in 1885 as Binney and Smith. They create products mainly for children, but there is now, since the adult coloring book craze, they did release two different versions of, in addition to this one, they did release two additional versions of the colored pencils. One version is just this in a different box, and that picture will show up right about now. And there is a different version that is supposedly actually a different formulation of the pencils and supposedly more artist grade. I have not tried the artist edition, but there will be a picture like now. Okay, so I have not tried that version. So this is the review of these and the ones in the slightly different box that are the exact same pencils according to Crayola, because I did ask them, and you can call them and ask them and verify that if you choose. They are extremely affordable. I think I paid like $5 for this and like $3 or $4 for this. So you can get them, I think, like, you can get them up to like $10. They're the one that is the same version of these pencils that is in a different box. A lot of places have them for $10.99 or even more, but they're literally the exact same pencils, just in a different box. And I think they're called like the aged up Crayolas. And I don't understand that, but but it is what it is. There is a Crayola exhibit at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, which I think is fascinating. And I mentioned this in our previous video, and there'll be a link to that video up here. The flesh tone was renamed Peach in 1962. And in fact, I think we're the first company to do that. So I find that fascinating and interesting. That came as a result of the civil rights movement. So let's talk about these pencils. So these pencils come in a wide variety of configurations, as I mentioned, and they also come, and I don't think a lot of people know that, they come in two different boxes that are the same pencils. And in addition to that, no wonder I couldn't figure out why my pencils couldn't fit, because this is a polychromos that's in here randomly. I was trying to get them to all fit in the box, and they just wouldn't fit, and I couldn't figure out why they couldn't fit. So they come in a wide variety of configurations. I don't know the total number of colors available everywhere, but for this version, the original version, as far as I understand it, for the full size, the largest number of color available in the US is 50. There are versions with additional number of pencils, but they feature repeats. That's as far as my understanding is from when I was looking it up. If I'm wrong, somebody down in the comments will correct me, but that's as far as I know for America. Also, in addition, in America, you cannot buy these individual open stock. Which kind of makes sense because you're paying like $3 for a set of 12. You can't buy these open stock, but you can, but you may be able to in other locations. I don't know if you can. So that's that. What I like about the Crayola pencils, and this is what I find interesting, is that they are able to, for each of their pencils, you'll see, they do seem to roll more than other pencils, and I don't quite know why that is, but that's neither here nor there. They say Crayola on them, but they also feature the name of the pencil in a whole bunch of different languages, which I think is awesome. And I don't understand when companies don't print the name of the pencil, the name of the color on there, because if Crayola can do it, everybody else should be able to do it. That's neither here nor there. So in the set, in the large set that I got, these were the colors that came in my set. In my set, it came with red, orange, yellow, green, sky blue, purple, brown, black, and white. And then this is one of the things that I was able to draw with these pencils. What I found interesting about these pencils is they do not seem to take a lot of layers, and that's part of sort of what you give up with these, because these are really originally intended for children. So they really don't take a lot of layers, but they do give you good color, even with one layer. This was 2 layers, but the rest of these were all 1 layer, and you can see how much color you can get just with 1 layer and medium pressure. And I'm actually gonna do some over here just to show you a little bit over here on this side. So there's that. So these are the original size pencils. But the other thing that a lot of people don't know is that they also come in a smaller size, and these are teeny tiny. They might even be too small to really use. And as you can see, I haven't really used these. They come in the box. This is box similar to the box that the crayons normally come in, and you can see that they are quite small. Let me show you how small these are. These are about half the size before they're sharpened. So when you actually get in terms of the post-sharpened size is actually a little bit smaller than half the size. These two might be the same color. Oh, and these little ones don't have the size printed on them, probably because they are so teeny tiny. But the big ones do print the size on there. Let me move all this. Hold on. These, you know what? I'm going to pause for a second. So I am back. You can use these just like this, the small ones, but I actually found that they were pretty uncomfortable for me, at least as an adult, to use them. I imagine that if you're a kid, it's not that bad. And I actually definitely enjoyed using them more with a pencil extender. For the little ones. One of the things that I really like about these is that even though they really are made for children and to be as affordable as possible, the wood is a very good quality wood. I have not so far had any breakages, but I'm sure that you probably will get breakages as they aren't technically bonded to the wood. Not that you would expect that at this price point, but I'm not sure what kind of wood they use, but it does, but they do say that it's sustainable. So I'm sure that they probably use some affordable, fast-growing wood. So there is that. And they, as you can see, they do give you a good amount of color, even if you can't, even if you have to press a little bit harder, and it can be a little bit difficult to get as many layers as you would with some of the artist grade colored pencils. But because these are meant for children, as far as how they function really well for what they are, and they are really surprising and really very good. If you are on a limited budget, I don't think anybody should feel any shame in using these, because these are really good pencils. But you do, after a moment, you do get to the point where it becomes difficult to lay down any more layers, and it basically becomes burnished, because there is a lighter pigment load than artist grade colored pencils. So so for example, this is an artist grade colored pencil, and you can see that it's a lot easier to get into the tooth of the paper, and you can do many more layers with this. So there is that. So I'm not comparing them to say that they're the same thing, but just to let you know that, you know, when you use these pencils, you're not going to be able to get as many layers. And at some point, there will be a limit. See, I can still keep going, even though the Crayola is already maxed out. I can still keep going with more layers on this. And I could probably keep going till I got tired of doing it, until, you know, the tooth of the paper ran out. Whereas with the Crayola, let me show you, you can actually see, I hope you can see, oh yeah, you can kind of see the shine. I hope you can see the shine. And it's definitely not the same sort of post-burnishing shine on these, on the artist grade pencils. Having said that, these are really very good pencils. Let me show you. I started to do this. Even though the set that I used for this was a larger set, it only had a few colors. You can still do a certain amount of layering. As you can see, I was able to get at least 3 or 4 layers in there before the paper just said no more. And before it got burnished out. So because you can't get as many layers, I would get the largest set that you can find or that you can afford. For these, whereas for the other pencils, I say, you know, just get a medium, you know, just get, you know, whatever size set you wanted to get. For these, I really strongly recommend that you get the largest set. And I honestly don't really recommend these mini pencils. They're cute as an idea, but in reality, they are just they're just too little to really use. In reality, it's just too small. They're not comfortable at all in reality. And it's weird. Like you don't want to do that. So if you can afford the full size ones, just get a set of the full size ones. Last thing I want to show you is I want to show you how they sharpen, because I was really impressed that I was able to get a nice, good, strong point in these. Let me see. This is a sharpener that I really like. If you saw my most recent video before this one, I did do a replacing the blade on this, and you can see that you are able to sharpen these and get a nice point. I could probably get a little bit better point. Let me try to get a little bit more of a point on here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these little pencils. Yeah, I could probably get an even sharper point, but for demonstration purposes, I think this is plenty just to show you that you can get a nice sharp point with these. And that works really well. So that will help you too. That will help you to get into the tooth, but this area has already been burnished, but that will help you make it a little bit easier to get into the tooth. I like these pencils for something like the Joanna Basford Lost Ocean, where there's a lot of small space and you're going to be sharpening your pencil a lot. So if you want to do a project like that, you can use these. And then because they're not going to be light fast or anything like that, what I would recommend is when you finish your picture and you finish your coloring, this was all done with a Crayola, by the way. When you finish your coloring, make sure you get a picture of it as soon as possible, because they will fade, and they're not going to be as, they're not going to be light fast. So with that in mind, these are really great pencils, and I totally recommend these. I just recommend that you get the full-size pencil and not the half size. The half size is really not half size. It's kind of less than half size. So otherwise, I will see you guys next time, and I hope you guys like this video. Let me know down in the comment what is your favorite Crayola color, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Stewie, you don't fit in that box. You know you don't fit in that box. Shameful. I know you hear me. Mm-mm-mm.